So what are you doing to keep yourself in shape these days?
Everything possible. Actually, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I try and do more of my upper body, shoulders, legs, some torso. Tuesday, Thursday is a swimming day. I got some older guys that swim with me at the YMCA, and
Is this in Pelham or
this is actually
Alabaster?
This is in Bessemer.
Okay, Bessemer. Okay.
Bessemer Legacy. Through the NFL, the YMCA and the NFL are kind of together on the CTC thing. So you gotta want to stay in shape and keep the testing going for that. So me being one of the biggest guys around, so I'm hard to miss. Just going to the YMCA every day. I kind of get up about 4:30, try to get in there by 5, get my workout out of the way. Then my day starts with McKesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, have you been to is it the Crossplex?
I've been to the Crossplex several times, actually, but I've never gone in there to work out.
Yeah, I just went there for the first time the other day. My son had a swim meet. I'd never gone over there.
Really?
The place is awesome.
It's got to be more so than when we used to go over there and play volleyball. Mm-hmm. My daughter Madison used to have tournaments over there at volleyball, and we would be there all day long. Never had anything with TJ or Jalen over there because the wrestling never got that way, and so never played football in there.
It's a really nice facility, and I'd never been there before. And my son's been doing swim, and we had a swim meet there a couple weeks ago, and it was just very impressive.
I mean, the swimming, going back to swimming. I mean, he's got to be in some of the best shape ever.
Oh, absolutely.
I know it. That was, believe it or not, my first sport I ever played was tennis. I started out as a tennis player, and I went in from tennis to swimming.
Yeah.
And I did freestyle and breaststroke.
Now, was swimming a big deal in Orlando? What were kind of the big sports?
Well.
Were you a golfer?
No, I didn't pick up golf until I got to Canada, but in all places. But I started swimming at a young age because pools are everywhere in Florida.
Yeah.
And people in Florida may not drown if the tidal wave come that way because everybody's learned to swim at a young age. So I had to do it, and we had a neighborhood center, the Wausau in Orlando, where we had a swimming team, and that's when I started out at age 6, swimming the freestyle and breaststroke.
Now, are alligators
prevalent?
Are they all over the place? Is that something you worry about if you're going up in Orlando? Like I could be walking around and like a gator could jump.
Yeah,
is that a real thing?
That's reality.
Okay,
that's reality because you grow up. I grew up in a neighborhood, Dimitri's home, where when we grew up, we had canals that surrounded going into Lake Man. We were fishermen. The speckled trout were big fish at the time, bass, Florida wide mouth bass, but we fished from the bank a lot. So when we would get to the bank, all my friends, Darren Wright, oh my God, they don't know him as Darren Wright. We were Sandlot kids, so his nickname is Mo Weeble.
What is it?
Mo Weeble.
Mo Weeble.
Mo Weeble. Mo Weeble. One of my best friends. Yeah. One of my best friends. Fishing buddy every day. We get to the lake and we have to tap the water. You make sure the gator move because you don't want to surprise the gator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So death is a reality right when you walk out your door.
Yeah.
When you get to Alabama, it's like nothing.
Here the snakes are a little bit more openly present, but in Orlando, staying around the water the way it is, walk out the door, sitting outside at night. You really want to be on your P's and Q's. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to get back to Florida in just a minute, but I do want to are you still volunteering at Thompson? Are you still a part of the program?
I am, and I'm so far away right now because of my schedule with McKesson. I'm more of a cheerleader now.
Yeah.
I'm a sideline cheerleader. Coach Freeman, Coach Clark, and Skids, those guys are, they're cheering on. I cheer them on from film right now. I get the film and I watch the film from practice. Practice has just started, and the guys are looking great. You know, it's something about, you know, I've gone through it so many times, and they've heard me harp so many times on some of the little things that, you know, that makes an offensive line good and makes a team, you know, even better. And I can kind of pick it up when I stop by sometime. You know, the little things, take the step, you know, make sure you're taking the 6-inch step, make sure you're doing this, make sure your eyes are to the sky. Little things I've said over the years that have just grown into those guys, and they're young guys that are going to be great coaches, really good coaches.
It's incredible the kind of success that they've had, and I mean, obviously that has a lot to do with Coach Freeman. So what is it about the way he approaches a program?
Coach Freeman came into a town called Alabaster that was really, really rich in talent. We had so many avenues to go down with kids that were just not being coached in the right way. With that said, like my outreach when we started we started working with kids from age 6 to 12. At that moment in time, there was nobody working with kids at that age but myself. So the little leaguers that came over are really the guys that we've been playing with for the past, you know, 6 and 7 years. A testimony to just what we've done here lately. You know, Peter Woods came back and just had his football camp, and he was one of the Team Ram kids. He's one of the best players in the nation right now. He comes out of Thompson High School. He and Jeremiah Alexander are two guys over at Clemson right now that were Team Ram kids. So Coach Freeman came into a stockpile of kids that were hungry and ready to be taught the way to play the game. And when he came in, man, he brought a package that no other high school had ever seen before. I mean, I had never seen so much food on a table for these kids all day long. You know, my kids were bringing home buckets of fruit, you know, from practice. And I'm like, where'd you get this? Oh, you know, we had this in the meeting room. You know, it's like he came in and just opened up his heart. And the kids fell in love with Coach Freeman. I fell in love with Coach Freeman. And the whole town did. He really did.
For those that don't know much about Team Ram, tell people about, you know, what you guys do with that organization.
Well, I mean, it was an organization really just for kids. We were, you know, a ministry for kids to understand that you didn't have to be, you know, the best in the world to play sports. Not only just to play sports, but just to be athletic. It started in our driveway. You know, my kids were sitting at home. You come home, your kids sit down. It's like, oh no, we got a driveway big enough to have some obstacle courses, put it outside. So we started doing little concourses of exercises. And it went from people dropping their kids off to Thompson allowing me to use the field. And it went on for 15 years, for 15 straight years, until I got to coaching at Thompson High School, Thompson Middle School, and from Thompson Middle School to the high school, and it just kind of fizzled down a little bit, but the kids still remained Team Ram kids, and it's so, you know, it's been so long that I have 2 more that are seniors at Thompson this year.
Wow.
Zay Felders and R.J. Stevenson. They'll be a defensive lineman and a running back. Yeah. So after this year, I'm officially saying, parents, I kept my promise. I kept my word. I was going to be here with your kids until they finished high school, and here are the last 2.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know, what are some challenges for young kids? I mean, I think they're not participating. A lot of people are not participating. A lot of kids are not participating. The parents aren't making them get out there and be active. I mean, I feel like we're meant to move, man.
We're meant to move.
You know,
we're actually, I mean, I always say that we're 70 kids. We're 70 kids. We played outside. We drank water out of the hydrant. But the kids nowadays are so, it's so I guess, electronic.
Yeah.
Electronically,
Everything's right here.
Everything's right there. The generations that are coming through now, and the kids in this generation right now are just so entitled. It's unbelievable. I love to see kids out in the neighborhood. I love to come outside and hear them laughing and playing.
Go outside.
Go outside.
Yeah.
I was over a friend's house, Mike Sokola, just the other day, and we were talking football. His son Jake is about to take on football for the first time. So it was so good to hear the kids in his neighborhood outside playing. You know, walking down to the lake, coming back around, you know, riding bicycles and getting out. You know, I hope this new generation from that age 6 to 12 right now are getting that focus back outside. Let's get outside. Let's move around, because from, I guess, 16 to 24, that generation is not outside at all.
Yeah. We do a lot of photography at events. We go to my company. We go to different events and take pictures and things like that, and we'll post that to our Facebook page. And I was looking at these photos the other day, and I was just noticing something. It was at this event that was in Jasper, and if you looked at the pictures, everybody was smiling.
Wow.
People were gathering. They were together, and everybody had a smile on their face. You know, and how important it is to gather, and how important it is to build relationships. I mean, man, you're a relationship guy. I mean, you slip into relationships and friendships so easily, but like, that's what I'm afraid of about these, you know, these young kids growing up, is they're not gathering.
They're not gathering,
and they're not, you know, they're not building relationships like maybe we had.
You know, because, and one thing is, we have to move with the generations. It has to be a gathering where we are interesting, and we're not only that, we're putting things out there for them in their time period right now. Because if it's something that we did, you know, it's not going to work.
Right.
I mean, the kids not there are not going to go play at a kickball tournament.
Right.
You know, a kickball tournament has to almost be introduced, you know, 4 weeks before the gathering come, and then everybody has to have their own ball. Right. So because it just doesn't work. I mean, a good picnic, a free hot dog giveaway is always a great way to pull everybody out of the house.
Lure people with food.
Yeah. Food has always been the number one go-to.
Yeah.
But we just don't have those moments like the jazz in the park or the play in the park. Because I can remember growing up, and we had my brother Lenars. There were plays that were presented in our parks in our neighborhoods. And there were little theater type things that, you know, that drew us to the park more so than the swimming pool or the tennis courts or the basketball goals. There were a number of activities in that neighborhood that drew the kids from Lake Man, that drew the kids from Dimitri Homes, that drew the kids from Stevenson, that drew the kids out from Richmond Heights. Yeah. All together. And in that one park, you would have 5 different high schools. 5 different high schools. But those are 70s kids, 80s times, and those things we don't see a whole lot more like right now.
Now let's talk about gathering at the Rayam household in Orlando. I mean, you've got Curtis.
Yeah.
You got Hardy.
Yeah.
You got you said Linares, is that right? Okay.
Linares.
You got Minnie. You know, tell me your dad. What was your dad's name?
Curtis
okay,
Senior.
All right. So
oh my God. Growing up, the last of all of that, I mean, it was, you know, you never knew that I would be at 57 years old and have all that memory behind me right now and pull from so much of it, because I was the youngest in the house and I heard everything. I was the youngest kid. I mean, I knew when my oldest brother came in, Alfonso, he came in from Miami, and Curtis would come in from Miami, and you know, Hardy would come home from Notre Dame, from out of Indiana, and Linda would come in from Miami. The 3 of those went to the University of Miami, and Hardy went to Notre Dame. Then Norris went to Florida. Alfred went to Elizabeth City. Then, you know, I had a choice to go just about anywhere in the nation to play football. And it was crazy because I came behind a line of talented kids. I mean,
that are going to have success all over the country.
Curtis is replacing Pavarotti in operas, and Hardy's playing football, and Lyndon Norris are doing their thing, and Alfred is doing their thing, and it was really crazy. But on top of all of that, it was truly fun. It was truly fun being the younger brother of all of that, because I caught everything, and when I messed up, everybody knew. Everybody knew I had messed up, and my dad saw me coming. It was I'm gonna teach you one thing, and that was how to work. And I was his mule. I guess because he knew I was gonna be the biggest, but I was his mule. I mean, we moved houses, and I'm talking literally moved houses. Pouring concrete, moving blocks.
And this is as a kid.
This is a kid.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm toting 2 blocks in one hand, on each side. So I grew up working really hard. I guess that's why I work hard as I do now. And it was truly fun to see, just how our family evolved. And, we've lost members in our family right now, but when I go home, we still own the same family home. And it's just, it's good to get home and see the pictures. I guess that's why I'm so fascinated by pictures.
But you're a person of nostalgia, man. You're very nostalgic. I mean, like, you go home and you reminisce, and don't you sit back in the backyard and kind of think about your family being together? I'm the same way.
I love it. I mean, I remember it all. When we did the story, under the oak tree.
Yeah.
The oak tree had to be cut down, and I cried. So because it fell and it got too big, but. I remember, throwing the ball up in the backyard with my friends, and I hear my mom out of the window talking about don't throw them too hard, because I was a little bit bigger than they were. Thomas, be careful, you're going to hurt him. She would always be out of the kitchen window, and we'd be right in that backyard, right by under that same tree.
Yeah.
And, it all comes back because we could walk down our backyard right across the street, be at Mrs. Kitchen's house, Alvin and Susie, and go through their backyard to the canal and fish.
Yeah.
It was just that way. Go to the corner, turn right, we'd be at Mrs. May's store, and it was a time and place where a kid could be a kid, really. A kid could be a kid. My oldest brother, Curtis, he refers to me as Opie.
You don't look like Opie, but tell me where that came from.
Oh, if you saw me at that age, you would probably be like, okay.
You have red hair?
I didn't have red hair, but I had the box head and the smile. And he would say, you reminded me of Opie. And I grew up loving the Andy Griffith Show.
Oh, man. It's
God. I'm going to watch Andy Griffith today.
All right. So you get recruited by Switzer at Oklahoma. You get recruited by Bobby Bowden at Florida State.
Jimmy Johnson
at Miami, right? Okay. So out of all those.
Ray Perkins
is the guy. Well, what was it about his recruitment of you, about Alabama, that made you want to go to Alabama?
Everybody else painted a picture of, the glory and what we're going to do with you, and you could come here and do this, that, and the other, and Bobby Bowden. Between Bobby, because my choice at one time was Florida State. Yeah. Bobby Bowden came in and was like, we were in Orlando. My cousin Pat had attended Florida State. My cousin Vanessa had attended Florida State. We had Florida State in the house. And Bobby Bowden was, the bear,
And they're getting hot
right in that time.
86,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it was good. And I was leaning towards, my cousin Kurt was a huge Florida State fan. I was leaning towards Florida State very heavily. But we came to Tuscaloosa. Ray Perkins came to the house. And he told my parents the truth.
Came to your house in Orlando.
In Orlando, and he told them the truth. I mean, he has to do his work. He has to pull his grades up. We're going to work with him, academically. We're going to see that he finishes school. We're going to make sure that Thomas becomes not only just a football player but a man. And when he said stuff like that, that hit my father in the head. It was like, okay, out of all that other stuff, because my father was a baseball fan. He ain't going to play baseball, he's going to play football. He was playing baseball. He's like, go somewhere and play baseball. But, when he said that, we want to make sure he's a man, that kind of hit home with my dad.
Yeah.
And then, he came back and, my mom, my dad, and I were there together, in the end. And, Coach Perkins came in, he got in the line to get his plate, and we had black-eyed peas, rice, and fried chicken, cornbread, Kool-Aid. I'll never forget it as long as I live. I came through the line, got my plate, got to the table, sat down. Coach Perkins was right behind me, got his plate, got to the table and sat down. My father right behind him. And we sat there and ate, and he and Dad talked, and he was just talking. We're just generally talking, not football, not school, not anything. Coach Perkins got over there on the couch, kicked his shoes off. And we were like, okay, what's going on? What the heck is happening? He kicked his shoes off, and my mom was like, Thomas, that guy really wants you.
Yeah.
He's talking life. He's not talking, the glory stories. He's not talking, how much money you can make if you came to this school. He was talking true in life. And he won my mom over.
What was your impression of Alabama at the time?
Didn't know a thing about Alabama.
But you had gotten a call. Hardy had gotten a call.
Hardy had gotten a call from
Bear called the house. So you had that, right?
My father was like, if the Bear did anything wrong in the world and got to Alabama, he could walk on water. There was nothing you could do with the Bear. But he was raising men. The guys showed up coat tie. And that was something that my father loved about Coach Bear Bryant. But Coach Bryant, he called the house, look at this, go to Paul Bear Bryant, Hardy Rayam there. And I'm like, oh my God, I dropped the phone, ran out the door, down the road. I just talked to the Bear. Nobody in Orlando knew who the heck the Bear was. Who's that? My friends down here, who the heck is the Bear? I just talked to the Bear.
And you're probably like a ninth grader or something like that?
No, I was 76. I was like 8 years old.
Okay.
9 years old. And because
when was Hardy at Notre Dame?
Hardy was in Notre Dame from 76 to 80.
Okay, so he's about 10 years ahead of you.
Yeah, he's about 10 years ahead of me. And he went and played under Dan Devine. But I was that little kid from the blind side. I knew who the Bear was. We had watched Alabama play, I guess Arkansas.
Yeah.
In the Orange Bowl that year or something, and I can remember my father just saying, "Oh, that's the Bear Bryant. They ain't gonna beat the Bear." And it just stuck. It stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you get to Alabama in '86,
Mm-hmm.
And it is wide open and wide open, and Perkins is really in his last year.
Yeah.
But what were your kind of first impressions of Tuscaloosa, and y'all had a stacked team that year?
Well, I was on Prop 48, so I didn't get to play my freshman year, and just walking back and forth to workouts, because for a long time it was just me, Pierre Good, and William Kent. We were tight buddies, and I didn't know what to think at some time, because I wasn't playing, but I was working out as if I was running, about to run a marathon. I had gained, because they didn't know what to do with us. We were just eating and going to class and eating. I blew up to 320 pounds. And when Coach Wingo got a hold of me, he found out I could run. And he made me one of the fastest defensive linemen Alabama has ever had. I got to the point where I was running 5 quarters under 85 seconds each quarter in long sweatpants and high heel and high top shoes. And it began to just grow from there, from the workouts, being with Coach Wingo and Rocky, Terry Jones, just working out, learning little by little of what really meant to be an Alabama football player. And that was one of the best years I think I've ever had as a student athlete, of just walking around, getting the understanding of what it was to be there and what a privilege it was to play for Alabama, because all over the world, you can hear of other people that have played at different universities. My friends who've played at Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, at Florida A&M, Bethune, and you've never ever had the glow of what I talk about when I talk about Alabama.
Yeah.
Because I've experienced it from both sides. Even in today's world, where a lot of my friends are kids that didn't play football. I mean, a lot. I hung with a lot of people that were not on the football team, and to run into them today, like Vance, he wasn't a football player by no short imagination, but still today, Vance and I are still friends. I mean, a lot of doctors that are, but we hung out at, at the frat houses and Harry's bar.
No drinking, of course.
No drinking.
Thomas,
no drinking, but I
you
did.
Just were there.
But a crazy bucket's still a crazy bucket.
Right, exactly.
But it goes way back. It goes way back to the first year at Prop 48.
Yeah.
One of the best years I think I've experienced in Tuscaloosa.
Now, when you think about that era, there are 2 guys on defense that immediately come to mind. The first one's Cornelius Bennett, of course.
Yeah.
And the great play against Notre Dame in
That
86.
Yeah, 86. I'm a freshman. I'm sitting in the stands, and I'm like, God, he just took his head off. At that time, we couldn't stand on the sideline, but I saw it live. It was like, oh wow, because I'm Hardy and I going back and forth. Oh, we're gonna beat Notre Dame. We're gonna beat Notre Dame. And when Cornelius hit that guy, it was like, the guard didn't go out there to get him, and Cornelius was like, oh my God, I got a free lick,
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Derek Thomas.
Oh, DT. Yeah. DT, I think about him a lot. I really do. Only because, he and I both out of Florida. DT was a good wrestler in the state of Florida. And not only that, my oldest brother, Alfonso, his kids actually grew up with Derek in Perrine, Florida, deep, Homestead, Florida. And, so kind of running across him as a kid, and then this guy has just developed into one of the phenomenal athletes in our era. Derek and I, we did a lot together as far as just trying to get to the airport to get home, and he's waiting on me and I'm waiting on him, and we're rushing down, 59 to get to the airport. And but our glory time was when Cincinnati Bengals would play Kansas City. Mm-hmm. So I would, he and I would talk junk all game long, and I'd have to block him sometime from my guard position. I have to go out there because our tackle, Tommy, I can't get him. Please go out and get him. If Derek lines up on the end of the line, I'm going to call Molly. You get your butt out there and block Derek. So there were some times that we had some good times in the NFL also. And when he had the wreck and he was headed to the Super Bowl, I was going to that Super Bowl too. I think it was in Atlanta. And that was a sad moment. Yeah. But I think about him a lot. Yeah. I really do.
What did you learn from those 2 guys about how to approach the game of football?
Both of those guys, now those 2 guys approached the game totally different. Totally different. I mean, Derek was a more of a laid back guy. I'm gonna sleep up until the minute they tell me to get dressed. You know, where Cornelius was more of a intense more type guy. Much more intense than Derek was. Had much more of a I would say energy level was a whole lot higher. DT turned it on when the lights came on. DT practiced really well. Cornelius practiced a whole lot heavier. But attitude-wise, I mean, totally opposite ends of the spectrums.
I don't know if I've asked you this question or not. I think I have, but who was the alpha dog of that group?
You know, nobody never talks about Wayne Davis and Ricky Thomas. You know, Wayne Davis and Ricky Thomas were. You didn't play with Ricky Thomas on game day or practice, or you didn't get in his way. It was one of those moments where it was finite. You didn't mess with him. He was just that tuned up. Wayne Davis was the leader of that defense. Wayne Davis was a man in that defense. You got Freddie Robinson that was just as lethal. Just as lethal. You had some characters on that team that was really, really just as tuned up as Bennett and DT, or more so. I mean, but just didn't get the recognition of those linebackers. I mean, God almighty, you had some real good talent on that team.
You know, and y'all had a camaraderie too. I mean, y'all still do to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about the
Bama
guys.
Sci-Fi.
Yeah, the guys that you were beside. You know, one thing that I like to do is, you know, I like to sort through some sports cards every now and then. So I got something for you. So we've got our. And this what's odd to me is that you don't have a card. We got
I got a card.
You got one of these? I couldn't find you in here.
All
right, so I'm going to give you these, and I want you to kind of like go through these and give me a little comment on. Tell us who it is. And
this is Kermit Kendrick. Kermit Kendrick. Kermit Kendrick and I go way back. Kermit Kendrick was I guess sophomore my freshman year. But Kermit is a lawyer in Birmingham now. Still a great friend.
Done okay for himself.
Done okay for himself.
Yeah.
I know he and his wife really well. He's a character. I love him to death. Kermit and I we talk about the guys was growing dreadlocks at the times, and we're saying we're not Jamaican, so we're not.
You can hand me that when you get done with it. I'll just put them over here.
Coach Perkins.
Coach Perkins.
You know, I love Coach Perkins, and you know, it's because of Coach Perkins I'm here today.
Yeah.
You know, and I owe a lot to the Perkins family. Yeah, Coach Perkins. Coach Bill Curry shook me up 1,000,000 times and got my attention. I'll never forget. I had a bad semester. And I had to go to summer school and take about 3 courses. And we went to play Temple. Derek came out of the game, and I was playing strike position also. And I had about 3 sacks, caused some fumbles. I had a great game. And Coach Curry came to me and looked me in my face. And he said, just think if you would have just lost it all. He said, he said, this summer you proved a whole lot. He said, you went through and made A's in 3 classes that I didn't think you were going to do it. He said, just think if you would have just gave it up, this night would have never happened. And I'm telling myself like, you know, wow, you know, little things really matter. I mean, you need to kind of take a you know, step back and really see reality. He really opened my eyes to a whole lot. I mean, and then that following year we blocked the kick. And once again, he was like, just think if you hadn't just paid the price a little bit.
I want to get to the rest of those, but I got a quick question for you about him and Coach Perkins. Has Alabama been a little unfair to both of them?
I think so.
You know,
I think
particularly Coach Curry.
Particularly Coach Curry. I mean, and then again, more so to Coach Curry than Ray Perkins. Coach Perkins had his way. Coach Curry didn't. I think because of the losses to Auburn, I mean, he didn't get a fair shake.
But that's a great story, an internal story.
I've never even told that story.
Yeah. He was your coach. I mean, he cared about Alabama.
He cared about Alabama.
He cared about the players at Alabama.
He really did.
Was his exit as smooth as maybe Alabama fans would have wanted? No. But he cared about y'all.
Yeah, he really did. Yeah. Deep down too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one. We may have to move.
Tommy Cole.
Proud of Jasper.
Now, I'm going to tell you something now. Tommy Cole taught me how to play the defensive line.
He'd knock your head off.
Tommy Cole would knock your head off. And I saw Tommy Cole. We were at Willie Wide's birthday party a couple years ago. I didn't even know him because he's gotten so tall. I'm like, who the heck is that?
Did I play with you?
I'm like, Thomas is me. I'm like, who is this? He's like, it's Tommy Cole. Kurt Jarvis had to tell me who he was. And I'm like, wow, Tommy, if you had been this tall, I'd have never got on the field. But Tommy Cole actually taught me how to play the three technique position. I mean, he and Willie Wide had that leverage because they both were short guys. But they had that leverage of you know, you're not going to move me. Yeah. And we played that gap control defense at that time. Tommy Cole's a brother of ours. Yeah. I mean, he just showed up every doggone day. I remember when his knee would swell up on him sometime, and it didn't matter. Tommy showed up every day for practice. Not only he shows up every day for practice, he showed up every Saturday for the game.
He's a great person.
He's still here in Jasper right now.
Yes, sir.
Number 51. That's that knee right there. Tommy Cole. Yeah.
All right, who we got next?
Kerry Good. We were on not Facebook, but we were on LinkedIn a couple weeks ago. I think it was 4th of July weekend, and Kerry Good used to do all the grilling. If you went to a party or something, Kerry Good was cooking. He was doing something, and we were talking about those days. And you know, Kerry's brother Pierre and I are still close friends. Talked to Kerry a lot through social media. Hate he's not up and doing like he would be doing if he was still walking around. But great guy. My freshman year, he had just he's coming back off that knee injury. Great guy. Showed us a whole lot about being gritty too. I mean, one of the strongest guys in the weight room. I mean, really dedicated himself to getting better, and he did. He just had a bad injury.
Just very inspirational life.
Highly inspirational. Yeah. Now this next guy, Greg Gilbert. Greg is all over the world right about now. His wife is the track coach over at Georgia. So, and Greg's at Kennesaw, and he's doing really well over there. But Greg and I bum rushed a frat party one time because, we thought somebody had taken a keg of ours. Crazy story, long story. It was crazy. We were having a football party, and some of the guys still remember that night.
Define bum rush. What does that mean?
Well,
you show up.
We
unannounced and
we
want the keg back.
It was said that one of the other guys who was a member of that fraternity took it over there, and so we went to get it back because we were still fired up for the night. So Greg and I, he was behind me. Go get him, big dog. Go get him. And some of those guys still remember that, because I was at a football game in Atlanta, and I was sitting over here, waiting for our tent to get put up for the football players. And one of the guys came over and said, "Big Ram, you can't sit there." I'm like, "Why?" "You remember. You can't sit over here with us."
Did you get your keg back?
Yeah.
You got it back?
Yeah,
Does Greg want that story told? Do we need to edit this out? Or
he'll tell it.
Okay.
He'll tell it.
All right.
We were crazy. That's great.
All right, a few more.
Oh, the Wheels of Steel, David Castile.
Y'all had a crew, man.
Oh, we had a crew. Now, this is one of the you know, the year Bobby got hurt, not Bobby, but Gene got hurt, and Castile stepped in that Florida game.
Yeah.
And ran wild. Oh, David was a great back. David was a really great back. But more importantly, what we needed David for, he was the DJ at all our football parties. We had Derek Thomas, God bless his dead, Derek. Bama Psi Phi was originated up in, you know, between David Castile and Bobby Humphrey, Willie Shepard. It was a crew. David Castile would be on the Wheels of Steel. David Castile scratch. Willie Shepard was on the microphone. And we were all out there chanting in the middle of the dance floor. And that was the party when, you know, somebody took the keg and we had to go back and get the keg.
Right.
So David Castile was the DJ for all of our parties. Great guy. I think he's still in Panama City, Florida right now, but I hadn't seen him since the last time he DJ'd. Greg Richardson. Greg Richardson was, I think, the first Devin Hester type person, kick returner, you know, that small receiver that got wide open. Nobody could stick this guy. I didn't have a real good personal relationship with him. I saw him a whole lot in the locker rooms and on practice field, but he always showed up with a great smile and always had a positive attitude about what he was doing. I think he was just so doggone fast. He and Al Bell ran neck and neck, and this guy would just leave them all out. Yeah. Great guy.
Yeah. Is this the last one?
This is the last one,
Okay.
and this guy, Willie Shepard, AKA Shep Dog. Shep Dog is the guy that was on the microphone, you know, telling everybody, chew tobacco, chew tobacco, chew tobacco, spit. If you don't play for Bama, you're not. And we go through the chant. But one of the unsung heroes, in the linebacker crew, you had Greg Gilbert, Derek Thomas, Willie Shepard, Ventrice Davis. But one of the guys that really stepped up in the middle of the line and did a lot of damage was Willie Shepard.
Mm-hmm.
Shep Dog. He was really patrolling the field, just like his nickname was, Shep Dog. Good guy.
That's awesome. So, I don't know if there's anything else we need to talk about. I mean, there's, you know, when you think about your career, there's just not a whole lot left.
Well,
wait a minute.
Yes, it is.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We got to get to this. You know, this has been a huge buildup, you know, to the greatest moment of your career, of course. So we got to talk about that. You know, when you think about plays, great plays in Alabama football, you know, I mean, obviously the Bennett sack, the goal line stand, just Van Tiffen, Cody block.
Yeah.
I mean, your block against Penn State's it's in there.
It's in there. It's in there. I mean, at one time it was number 9 of all Alabama greatest plays, and you just got to know that I feel that '86 freshman year comeback of what it meant to play for Alabama, what it meant to make a great play for Alabama. I can remember walking to the games with one of the walk-on guys at the time, Kevin Ayers. We called him Boone from Decatur, Alabama, and he was saying, you know, you make a great play or you do something big, you know, they'll you have their jersey everywhere. You know, it was nothing at the time, but just going back and remembering those little things about what people said, that play. You know, it'll never be duplicated like that again. Mount Cody's was great, and he and I took a picture together at a football game, and it was great. One person blocking a kick 2 times in a row, and nobody touched him. It was like, how can you not touch the biggest player in the world right in the center of the field, and nobody touched him?
The chances of that happening are basically zero.
Zero. Zero.
But there was something about your play. And so I want you. Last time we talked about this, we had to stand up, can you do this seated where you're kind of telling people exactly how it went down?
Well, the play was designed for Mike Ramil to go through the opposite A gap and block the kick like Coach Curry. Coach Curry made us do it every day. He said it was going to come up sometime, and you're going to need desperation block. And, Thomas, make sure you go right here every time. Every time, right here. Coach Fisher, right here every time. Make sure you go through here. And, because that center is going to come to you because you're closer to his hand, his snapping hand. And I don't know. That one time that, out of 9 million tries, that center went the opposite way. And I hit this guy so hard that tried to stop me. It was just like, at that moment in time, I don't care who it was, Penn State, Oklahoma, it could have been any team over there at that moment in time. They were not going to stop us. They were not going to stop. It was 11 guys that was in the huddle crying. Mm-hmm. We're not going to lose. We're not going to lose. The Tide won't lose. I'm talking about we couldn't hear ourselves think at that moment. It wasn't as loud as some of the games we played in, but it was loud. And I don't care who it would have been. I mean, it could have been 5, King Kongs over there. They wasn't going to stop that penetration.
And the Alabama-Penn State rivalry had become a big rivalry. Yeah. Basically, we're playing them every year.
Every year.
And then you had the '86 game, which was they dominated.
They dominated. DJ Dozier. I was sitting right there when DJ Dozier and Shane Conlon and all that group just went through us like paper bags.
And all that fed into how big of a deal the block was.
It really was. And to go through that line and just feel that ball hit my hand, it was like we did it. We did something that was, Coach knew, our defensive line coach at the time. It was like we made Coach the best coach in the world.
Larry knew.
Coach Larry knew. And it's so fun to talk to him on Facebook right now. It's unbelievable. Not to hear him telling you, get your, So it's like talking to Dad, really it is. Because that's how we treated him. And we still love him today. But it was, it's undescribable, really, that moment. Because I wasn't supposed to do it. It's about a person doing his job. It's about a team doing what a team does. It's about sticking together in the time of trials and tribulations. It's about
adversity.
Adversity.
Yeah.
One of the great moment, adversity, is something that I made up for my kids at home. Because we talk about adversity and defeating adversity, and we like meet and defeat adversity, and that came out of that kick. And if you saw one of my kids and you did that, and they would say meet and defeat. Yeah. So it was all about meeting and defeating adversity, something that we still do today, and it's all because of Desperation Block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any kind of conversation with Ray Taurasi?
Never. I would love to. Never.
Have you ever thought about just like reaching out to him?
I've looked for him on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
I couldn't find him.
I wonder how that would be received.
It would probably be good camaraderie. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. But the only person I've ever talked to behind it is Andre Collins. Andre and I went to the Redskins that same year. And when he walked in the locker room, he saw me and said, man, he said, Thomas, man. He's like, Thomas, man. And now he's like the president of the Players Association. So I call him and he picks up the phone. Yeah. Man, what do you want? What do you need? I want to, I want to go take my test. Oh my God, Thomas! I'm like, hey, I didn't get my 4th year credit. Oh, Thomas, you got to do this, that, and the other. It's great to have him as the president, but every time we talk to him, or every time I talk to him, it goes back to Penn State, in the block in '89.
I think that once you get done playing, like even if you've been a bitter rival with somebody, I mean, you think about like the Magic Bird dynamic.
Oh, God.
I mean, they
Never do.
They developed a friendship,
Yeah.
and once you get done playing, I mean, you're kind of like, you're competing and you've got a rivalry, but then once you get done playing, you kind of let that go, and then there almost becomes like this, rapport that
It really is.
So, I'd be interested to see whether you and Taurasi could develop a friendship.
That would be a great interview. That really would.
Let's get him on the show.
Man, you should. You really should, because he kicked the hell out of that ball.
Yeah.
He really did. He put his foot into that ball because Willie Wyatt, he could say it best. You big mama's boy, it stung my hand. Because that's the first thing I said, man, it stung. I mean, he kicked it. I mean, it burned for...
Where's the ball? Do you have any idea?
The ball was at the museum.
Okay.
Yeah, it was at the museum.
Still there?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was like, it stung my hand. It really did. He kicked the ball. He kicked it. He went for the win. Because the only reason I know he kicked it so hard is that was the only game I ever played in. I didn't wear gloves. I didn't wear gloves that game, and boom, it hit my hand. Yeah.
And that's been an incredible moment for you across the years.
Across the years. I mean, it still lingers today. I can still give somebody that picture and they remember exactly where they were. The amount of stories that have piled up on, just where I was when you blocked that kick. I mean, I've heard from turning over tables and falling out of boats and, falling down, kicking over the dishes. I've heard so many stories, and some of them are really, really great. But it'll never go down in history. It'll never go down the same way. My kids and kids through the outreach have benefited from it a whole lot.
And you can drop that anywhere you go. I mean, you can be at Jackson, Adamsville, and you can be at McAllister's and
like I work now. I'm at medical sales. I'm in every town just about in Alabama, and I was in Collinsville a couple weeks ago, working with Mr. Coker at Collinsville Health and Rehab. The head football coach was there. Can you come talk to my team? It's like, I remember I was at the school and you blocked the kick and we all ran out of the gym, because Alabama had won. We was there for rundown and da-da-da-da-da-da. Was able to just talk to the kids at Collinsville. None of them were born at the time, but they could pull it up on YouTube and see the play. And it's still a great memory. It's still a great, play made by 11 guys hell-bent for the ball.
36 years removed from that moment, and it still makes people smile.
Yeah, I still get goosebumps.
Still makes you smile.
It really does, because out of all the football I've played, all the licks, all the pain, all the injuries, that play really defines me. Yeah, it really does. Just fighting through adversity. Fighting through adversity, giving my kids a signal of truth to just let them know that you can do anything. Just put your best foot forward, and count your blessings.
Yeah. Well, man, I think you're a class act, and I've enjoyed talking to you once again, and really enjoy our friendship. And,
yeah, most definitely.
We got to do this again sometime. So appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Good to have you.
Yes, sir.